July 4th, 1187. The Horns of Hattin near the Sea of Galilee. 20,000 Crusaders are surrounded by Saladin's Muslim army. No water, exhausted, trapped by sunset. The Crusader army is destroyed. The King of Jerusalem is captured. The most sacred Christian relic, the true cross, is taken. 3 months later, Jerusalem falls to Muslim forces for the first time in 88 years. One battle changes everything. This is Hattin, the Crusader kingdom. To understand Hattin, you need to understand the Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem. In 1099, the First Crusade captures Jerusalem. European knights establish Christian kingdoms in the Holy Land. For 88 years they hold, but by 1187, the kingdom is weak. Constant warfare with Muslim neighbors, internal political struggles, limited manpower. Saladin, Sultan of Egypt and Syria, unites Muslim forces. He's building power, waiting for the right moment to strike. That moment comes in 1187. Saladin's forces raid Crusader territory. They besiege Tiberias, a city on the Sea of Galilee. The Crusader king, Guy of Lusignan, must respond. He assembles the entire military. Strength of the kingdom, 20,000 men, every knight, every soldier. It's everything the Crusaders have. If this army is destroyed, the kingdom falls. The march to disaster. Guy's advisors are divided. Raymond of Tripoli, experienced military commander, says don't march. Saladin is baiting them, stay defensive. But Reynaud of Chatillon and other hotheads demand action. They accuse Raymond of cowardice. Guy chooses to march in July in the desert. The Crusader army leaves Sephoria, which has water, and marches toward Tiberias, 40 kilometers through arid terrain in summer heat. Saladin withdraws from Tiberias and shadows the Crusader march. He sends light cavalry to harass them. Arrows fall on the column. The Crusaders can't catch the Muslim horsemen. The march is torture. Knights wear chainmail and padding in 100-degree heat. Horses tire, water runs out. By afternoon of July 3rd, the Crusaders are desperate for water. The Sea of Galilee is visible but 6 kilometers away. Between them and water, Saladin's entire army. Guy decides to camp overnight at Hattin, a barren hill with 2 peaks called the Horns. No water, just dry grass and rocks. It's the worst decision possible. The battle. Night of July 3rd. The Crusaders are dehydrated, exhausted, demoralized. Saladin surrounds them. Then he does something brilliant. He sets fire to the dry grass. Smoke blows into the Crusader camp. Heat increases. Thirst becomes unbearable. At dawn July 4th, Saladin attacks. The Crusader infantry breaks almost immediately. Desperate for water, they charge downhill toward the lake. They're cut down by Muslim cavalry. The knights try to form up, but they're too weak. Horses are dying from thirst. Men can barely stand. The Crusaders retreat to the Horns of Hattin. They're surrounded. No escape. Raymond of Tripoli makes a desperate cavalry charge. Saladin's forces open ranks and let him through. He escapes with a few knights. Everyone else is trapped. King Guy orders the royal tent erected. It's a rallying point. Knights defend the tent desperately. Muslim troops overwhelm them. The tent falls. Guy is captured. The sacred relic, the true cross, is captured. For medieval Christians, this is catastrophic. The true cross is believed to be wood from Christ's crucifixion. By afternoon, the battle is over. 15,000 Crusaders are dead or captured. Saladin's casualties are minimal. The aftermath. Hattin destroys the military power of the Kingdom of Jerusalem completely. Saladin executes the military order Knights, Templars, and Hospitallers. He considers them too dangerous to ransom, but he spares King Guy and most nobles for ransom money. With the army destroyed, Crusader cities surrender quickly. Acre falls, Jaffa falls, Ascalon falls. On October 2nd, 1187, Saladin enters Jerusalem. The city that launched for Crusades surrenders without serious resistance. Saladin is merciful. Unlike the Crusaders in 1099 who massacred Muslims and Jews when they took Jerusalem, Saladin allows Christians to leave safely if they pay ransom. News of Jerusalem's fall shocks Europe. Pope Urban III reportedly dies of grief when he hears. Europe launches the Third Crusade. Richard the Lionheart, Philip of France, and Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa lead massive armies. But they never recapture Jerusalem. Richard fights Saladin to a draw. They negotiate a treaty. Christians get access to Jerusalem for pilgrimage but don't control the city. The balance of power has shifted permanently. The lessons Hattin proves several military lessons that echo through history. First, logistics matter more than courage. The Crusaders were brave, well-equipped, experienced fighters, but they marched without water in summer heat. No amount of valor overcomes dehydration. An army that can't drink can't fight. Second, political unity beats military strength. Saladin spent years uniting Egyptian and Syrian Muslim forces under one command. The Crusaders were divided by politics, ego, and competing interests. Unified command wins. Third, terrain and timing win battles. Saladin didn't fight where the Crusaders were strong. He chose when and where to engage. He forced them to march through desert, then trapped them without water on barren hills. Fourth, psychological warfare matters. Setting fire to dry grass seems minor, but the smoke, heat, and desperation broke Crusader morale before the main fighting started. Fifth, one decisive battle can end kingdoms. The Crusader kingdom survived 88 years of warfare. One catastrophic defeat at Hattin and the entire kingdom collapsed in months. All the fortresses, all the political structures, everything depended on that army. Hattin also demonstrates the importance of intelligence and reconnaissance. Saladin knew where the Crusaders were, their condition, their desperation. The Crusaders walked into a trap because they didn't understand Saladin's position or intentions. Closing July 4th, 1187, one battle in the desert. 20,000 Crusaders march without water. Saladin surrounds them. By sunset, the kingdom of Jerusalem's army no longer exists. 3 months later, Jerusalem is Muslim again. The Crusades continue for another century but never recover what Hattin lost. Saladin becomes a legend. The Crusader kingdom becomes a footnote, one battle. One day, everything changed. Subscribe to Sword and Pen, where military might meets political power.